Hey guys, it's Tealus here. I am back making Legion content videos. I have already given you kind of my overview of how things are going to go, and this is going to be the first of all the specs, and I'm looking at Outlaw Rogue. This is a request that came in, and Outlaw Rogue, all rogues in general, I'm not very proficient with. If you remember in Warlords of Draenor, I was the same way. I still have not played Rogue very much, but I have done as much homework as I can to make sure I get this as accurate as possible, so I apologize if I miss anything. Now, as I mentioned in the opening video, I am going to be looking at each spec individually in two different videos. In this first video, we'll be looking at Outlaw Rogue's new abilities and their artifact weapon that they will be receiving. So first in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through actually the removed abilities first, so you can see just how much has been gutted out of the Outlaw Rogue spec, which used to be known as Combat Rogue, if you're a little out of the loop. And then I will go into the changed abilities, and then you'll see the new abilities, and you'll see what has changed and kind of made better, or for the better, I should say. So first you should know the removed abilities. There are a lot of them, and I'm just going to start listing down, and some of you will be probably really shocked and surprised to see just how many have been removed, and that is just an effect of the changes, the massive changes that they have done in Legion. And this is one of the specs, one of the two-thirds of specs that I believe are just completely different, and I pretty much have to approach this as a brand new class, and that is why I'm starting from removed abilities and going up to the new abilities. So removed abilities: evasion has been removed. It is only for assassination and subtlety now. Eviscerate is now subtlety only. It is gone. Poisons have been removed. It is assassination only. Recuperate has been removed, so your health kind of regen there is gone. Revealing strike has been removed, and that was a main part of combat. Sinister Strike has been removed, which is kind of odd to me because even though I haven't known Rogue very long, I always considered Sinister Strike as kind of the most basic of Rogue abilities since Rogues began. I could be wrong about that, but they have slowly kind of phased it out, and now it is completely gone. Slice and Dice has been removed, except for it is a talent. It will replace one of your abilities in the bar, I believe. So I'll get to that in the next video. But Slice and Dice has technically been removed. If I was, a main rogue player, I wouldn't really care about that because I hate upkeep abilities. But considering how much control you like over your character, you may actually like it when you actually see the ability that it does replace, which is Roll the Bones. Another ability that has been removed is Crimson Tempest. That is gone. Smoke Bomb has been removed. Kidney Shot has been removed. It is now assassination and sub only. It does not play into the swashbuckling play style of what they want Outlaw Rogue to be. You still have stealth, but in reality they want you to be this swashbuckler that generally doesn't rely on stealth too much. Bandit's Guile has been removed. Swiftblade's Cunning, which was kind of your passive buff, has been removed. Throw has been removed. That won't be really a big deal for PvE players. However, PvP players, I know, like if you were trying to close a gap on someone and your gap closers were not up at the time, you could use Throw to keep them from mounting up and getting away. That's not really going to be the case anymore. That has been removed. Preparation has been removed. Blizzard, I believe, does not really want many of those just reset talents on the board anymore. So that has been removed. Shiv or Sheev, however you pronounce it, has been removed. Shroud of Concealment has been removed, so any mass stealthing that occurred before, you're no longer going to be able to do. Killing Spree is a talent. It has been removed as well. And then Garrote is now assassination only. So, I mean, that is a long list of abilities that they have removed. On top of that, if you think of all the glyphs in the game, glyphs have been completely removed from the game, so all of the glyphs have been removed. So the spec has been gutted. Luckily, there are many abilities that have been added to the game, but we'll get to those in a second. First off, we have the changed abilities. First off, as we begin to make our way over to kind of the combat training area, it's a little bit noisy in there. I hope to be able to show you guys the sound effects that happen, but it's going to be kind of noisy because the sound effects in the game have changed greatly, and it kind of really it feels like a new game, just partially because of the sound effects. But Feint, Sprint, Ambush, and Cheap Shot all have gotten new sound effects, so I'm going to go ahead and show you Feint. I need to pull it up here. You can hear it's a new visual effect and sound effect, so you can see right there. Very simple. It's still there. And then Sprint as well has gotten an upgrade in its sound effect and its ability. And we'll go ahead and use it right here. You can see just how it changes right there. So just a little bit different change effect in the sound effect and the visual effect for those abilities. Now, as far as the abilities that have been changed, Adrenaline Rush has been changed. Its global cooldown effect has been removed. So anything to reduce global cooldowns has been removed, so that's a little bit of nerf there, but they compensated by reducing its cooldown by 30 seconds. In addition, it also has a little bit more of a distinctive visual. I'll go ahead and use it right here. You can see right there, just a little bit different. Now, Blade Fury has been changed. It's been buffed. It now hits all targets instead of just 4. So when you activate Blade Fury, it will now hit all targets instead of 4, and it also only comes at the cost of a 10% energy reduction penalty as opposed to a 20% penalty. So it's buffed there a little bit. Gouge has also been just a little bit buffed. It is now, I believe, Outlaw only. Outlaw is the only one that can use Gouge. It costs 20 less energy. And it doesn't say on the tooltip that you need to have a facing requirement. However, when I was using it earlier, it still required it. If I come up here and try and use it on a training dummy, you'll see that it won't allow me to use it from behind. I still have to be in front to be able to use it. So it's still there, and I don't know which one's bugged, whether the tooltip, they just decided to remove it, or they haven't quite fixed the ability. Going into the other changed abilities, one that's really important is that Pick Lock has had its cast time reduced to 1.5 seconds from 5. Just want to bring you guys the real important stuff that's coming to change for rogues. Combat Potency, which was a passive, has been changed. Its 5% haste buff has been removed, but the change to the proc is now the same for all weapons. Before it used to be like if the faster weapon speed, it would change based on the weapon speed. That's not the case now. It's just the same for all weapon and weapon speeds. And the energy created or generated from that ability is now 18, up from 15, so it's a bit of a buff there. And lastly, there's Ruthlessness. Ruthlessness lost the removed cooldown reduction for abilities. So all it is now is your finishing moves have a 20% chance per combo point to grant a combo point. So just a change there. Now there are 2 other abilities that have kind of sound effect upgrades or visual upgrades. I'm going to show them right here. First is Ambush. You can see it right there. Pretty nice. You can actually hear the new sound effects for just attacking your basic attack. It's really nice sounding. It really feels like one class. So, and then we're going to go down here, get out of combat, and we'll show you Cheap Shot. I honestly don't like this new one because I like the sharp crack that you could hear before. It's not really as much there anymore, so you can see it right there. That's the new Cheap Shot. Not exactly a big fan of it. So that brings us into the new abilities for an Outlaw Rogue, and there are many. There are at least, just counting through them real quickly, at least 8 new abilities. So the game is changing completely based off of these new abilities. Now, some of these that you may see in my spellbook, I'm not going to be going through because they are actually talents. For right now, I'm just going through base abilities for an Outlaw Rogue. You can even see one of them right there in front of you, which is one of the coolest ones there. So the first one is going to be Between the Eyes, which is a finishing move. Well, I'm gonna wait till the finishing move. Well, I had some fun with it, so I'll go ahead and use it here. So Between the Eyes is basically you whip out a gun and deal damage. damage with your pistol and it stuns the target, basically. So finishing move that deals damage with your pistol and stuns the target. Critical strikes with this ability deal 4 times normal damage. So high crit, you're gonna get high damage out of this. You can see right here, I basically just pull a pistol out and deal damage. It's pretty awesome. The next new ability that is on the list that I can't really show you is Bribe. And it basically bribes a non-player humanoid target up to a level 111 with Fool's Gold, convincing it to fight for you for 5 minutes. So you basically have a CC there. It's on a 30-minute cooldown though, so pick your targets wisely, I guess. Yeah, it's something that you're gonna have to be careful with in terms of when you use that and when it's going to actually be useful. The third ability, new ability, is called Crimson Vial, and this is available to all rogues, and it's just a big heal. Drink an alchemical concoction that heals you for 42% of your maximum health over 6 seconds. I'll just go ahead and pop it now, even though I have full health. You can see just a little bit of blood, and you can see the massive heal in the top left-hand corner. 94,000, 94,000, 94,000. I have 1.4 million health, so that's ending up being a lot of healing very quickly. The next new ability is known as Pistol Shot, which is down here. Costs 40 energy, and you draw a concealed pistol and fire a quick shot at the enemy, dealing 30k physical damage and reducing movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. So this is your sticking power. I'll go ahead and use it here. It does have a 20-yard range, so if you want to close a gap on someone, you don't have a gap closer, this is what you do. You use this, and it generates combo points. So, I mean, I can use that, and I can use between the eyes after this. So you have, you know, they kind of gave you more of a mid-range capability as an outlaw rogue with this here. So that's kind of a cool change that they have. The next new ability is going to be Riposte. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. This is not like the old version of a rogue. This is more like a warrior version. It basically grants 100% chance to parry for 10 seconds, and each time you parry an attack, you will riposte the target for 23,000 physical damage. Cannot occur more than once per 1 second. So, a lot of attacks coming in, you can't, you know, just completely parry everything and deal massive damage. So it does have a little bit of a limitation there, but it is a nice defensive cooldown to have for a combat rogue, especially since you've been stripped of a lot, thinking of smoke bombs and such. The next ability I'm going to go through is Saber Slash. Saber Slash is another generator. So you have both Pistol Shot and Saber Slash. And Saber Slash is going to interact with Pistol Shot. So you viciously slash an enemy, causing 600,000 physical damage. Saber Slash has a 35% chance to strike an additional time, making Pistol Shot free. So I'll go ahead and use it, and then all of a sudden Pistol Shot becomes free. So, simple. It's basically the replacement for the good old Sinister Strike. That is your new Sinister Strike, your major damage ability. Now, your next finishing move that has been added to the game, since you lost a lot as a Outlaw Rogue, now Outlaw Rogue, former Combat Rogue, is going to be Run Through, which is lunging finishing move that causes damage per combo point and has increased range. So, I'm not quite sure what the range is on it. I thought it was more than just 5, but I guess it's just 5, yes. So it's just got a short combo range, and it does not lunge you forward as it might say, it just is able to be used in distance. So, powerful damaging ability. I mean, that is your third type of finishing. So you have lunge forward and between the eyes. And that leaves us with the fourth, which you may have seen pop up because it has a very flashy visual, and it is Roll the Bones. Now, Roll the Bones is a finishing move that rolls the dice of fate, providing a random combat, look out of the black drape there, that providing a random combat enhancement lasts longer per combo point. So this is kind of the replacement for Slice and Dice, and when I get to the talent video, you'll see that Slice and Dice replaces this. But Roll the Bones basically is going to roll 6 dice, and each one of those die can give you a different buff. These buffs can be Jolly Roger, which gives you 3 HP per second, Grand Melee, which gives you plus 40% attack speed, Shark Infested Waters, which give you plus 40% crit, True Bearing, which is cooldown reductions on using finishers, so it kind of took off of, I believe, it was Ruthlessness. I'm not quite sure about that. Or maybe Adrenaline Rush, I can't remember. It kind of took that from there. There is Buried Treasure, which is a plus % base energy regen. I'm not quite sure how much it is. It might be 40%. I think they went with the same number across the board. And then the last one is called Bombardment, which is increased combo point generation. I believe it's just one combo point. We'll go ahead and use it here though. You see the massive visual. It pops up. And then you get your abilities up here. This time we got Grand Melee. And that's just a trinket. So I'll go ahead and use it again. See what I get this time. It changes every time. So that is like the holy grail of all rolls. Basically, and here we'll see all of them. You have Buried Treasure, increased energy regeneration by 50%. Broadside, your attacks generate one additional combo point. Jolly Roger, healing for 4% of maximum health. Sorry, not 3. Finishers reduce the remaining cooldown and ability by 3 seconds per combo point, and then the 40% crit and the 40% attack speed. It's all there. Now that is the holy roll of all roll the die. If you get that, you're going to see a massive burst in your damage. Now the way the roll the die works is that whichever is the highest number wins. So if I roll 3 of Shark Infested Waters, that's what I'm going to get. If I roll 2 Shark Infested Waters, 2 Grand Melee, 2 Jolly Rogers, I'm going to get all 3 buffs. In the case of what happened just there, I rolled 1 of each. So I got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6, and so I got every single one of those, and that's what allowed me to get so many buffs at once. And remember that it is augmented by the buffs are augmented by how many combo points you have. So if I roll it up all the way to the top and then I use Roll the Bones, it's augmented by that. It's not going to change your chances of getting like the full 6. In fact, that is the first time I've gotten all full 6. I can't believe I got it in the middle of this video, but that is just the way it is. So that is everything. Just looking through, that is brand new to combat rogues. I mean, there's still more to come in the talent section, looking at regular talents and then PvP talents after that. But for the most part, everything else is the same. Everything that's been removed, I've already discussed, changed, I've discussed, and the new abilities I have discussed. There is nothing else to go through, except for to now look at the brand new artifact weapon. So first we're going to look at the actual ability you get from the artifact weapon, which is Invoke the Curse of the Dreadblades, causing each saber slash or pistol shot to fill your combo points. However, the Dreadblades will consume 6% of your current health when you use a finishing move for the next 12 seconds. So I will go ahead, let me go ahead and get out of here. And I'm going to use it, use Curse of the Dreadblades, and then I'll use this instantly fill. You know, I constantly use it over and over again, and that will last for, I believe it said 6 seconds? No, 12 seconds, excuse me. And it has a 1.5 minute cooldown, so that's actually, it's pretty cool. Definitely a cool buff to have, and that is what comes with your artifact weapons. And as you can see, let me zoom in right here so you guys can actually see, these are the base form of what my artifact weapons look like. Now these artifact weapons are known as Fate, the Dreadblades. So each one is called Fate, I believe. But this is the Dreadblades, and this is your kind of your talent tree for the artifact weapon. Now you start right here, and this is the first thing you get. When you find your artifact weapon, you will get this ability right off the bat, and then you will build it up. So we're gonna kind of go, I'm gonna go from left to right all the way through the talent tree. Even though you start right here and you have to branch out from here, you start right here. I'm going to go ahead and read them from left to right just so I don't lose track of anything. The ones with the kind of epic portrait on them have a little bit added, more of an oomph to it, whereas the other ones are more like the old talent tree, where it's just they're minor buffs to your abilities. So starting at the bottom, we have Greed. You run through occasionally, awakens the Dreadblades, unleashing a sweeping attack against all nearby enemies for 34,000 physical damage and healing you for 73,000 damage. So that's kind of a RNG right there. You have Ghostly Shell. The Dreadblades heal you for 2% of your maximum health for each effect cleared by Cloak of Shadows or resisted during its duration. Reduces the energy cost of finishing moves by 6. Now notice it's rank 3 at 3. This builds up, so that one is likely going to be 2, 4, 6. You have Hidden Blade. Successfully using Ambush guarantees your next Saber Slash will strike an additional time. Blade Dancer. Your energy regeneration is reduced by 10% less while Blade Fury is active. Cursed Edges. Increases damage dealt by Saber Slash by 15%. Fate's Thirst increases damage dealt by run through by 10%. As you can see, these are very generic talents, just like the old talent tree system. Gunslinger increases the critical strike chance of pistol shot by 10%. Activating Sprint causes Feint to activate for no energy cost. Reduces the cooldown of Adrenaline Rush by 30 seconds. Combat Potency generates 3 additional energy. So that is the buff to that you saw to Combat Potency. So it originally is 15, and then it upgrades to 18 through the Dreadblades. You have Black Powder. Increases the damage dealt between the eyes by 10%. Blade Master, while Riposte is active, you gain 1 combo point each time you parry an attack. Fortune's Boon reduces the cooldown of Adrenaline Rush by 30 seconds, so it originally is 2 minutes, even though it had a global cooldown effect removed, but then the Dreadblades reduce it by 30 seconds. Deception, we already discussed that. Fortune's Strike increases the damage dealt by Main Gauche by 6%. Your mastery is still basically the same as a now Outlaw Rogue. And then you have the 2 big ones, which is Blunderbuss. When Saber Slash strikes an additional time, your next pistol shot may be replaced with Blunderbuss. Draws a concealed Blunderbuss and fires a quick shot at the target, dealing 64,000 damage and reducing movement speed by 50%. It's basically just more damage. I mean, that's basic. And then the last one is Blurred Time. During Adrenaline Rush, all of your ability cooldowns recover 40% faster. So basically, when you get an artifact weapon, starting here, you're going to decide basically which one of these do you really want first of the epic ones, and then you kind of charge your way towards it, and then you go from there. I have learned so far from leveling, I've only gotten a character to 101. It takes a lot to build up a artifact power to get this stuff. So I don't know if Blizzard's going to nerf that or not, but it definitely does take a long time at the moment. So that was pretty long, but this is a pretty different spec. It's brand new. It's one of the brand new specs in the game. You guys have already heard all of the stuff that has been removed from it. I mean, they got gutted, and then at the same time they got everything replaced. They basically want you to be a pirate, a swashbuckling pirate. And you can even see inside the Rogue Hall, if I wander around here a bit, you're going to see some Bloodsail Buccaneers. I think they're up here. Bloodsail Corsairs and so forth. So they're making rogues. They're really defining each rogue's kind of different ability, defining each one of their playstyles is what they're doing. So that is everything regarding Outlaw Rogues. I hope you guys like this video. In the next video, I will be looking into Outlaw Rogues talents. Still, talents only go up to 110. All of these are PvP talents. Still only go up to 100, but they have changed. And then on top of that, there are PvP talents that I need to go through. So that will be in the next video. Otherwise, I will see you guys out there. Tearless out.